Ended up going to the Island Games in Bermuda, which was an incredible experience. Got told I have one of the best eyes they've ever seen, best vision. And then they said we'll do one last test, and that one last test showed some yellowing around my right eye. So I was just going through the phases really. Even right now, I don't feel like, I know a lot of people said they feel like a hit, and I think I felt maybe a little one, but it just all happened so fast. Something that I was pretty mad. I had to go and get my will signed from Jersey. From what I've been told previously, is that people are there a couple of days a week, and I was there over 2 weeks. Had to raise a minimum of £450. I'm now currently, I believe, just over £1,000. So I've secured my place, which, funny enough, I was actually very worried about securing my place, because I'd just done the Island Walk and raised £450 for Jersey Brain Tumour charity. So I was worried about then having to raise more money to secure my place for the Royal Park.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Sportscast Jersey. Today we are joined by local runner at the moment, Ryan O'Shea. How are we doing, Ryan?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Yeah, not bad, thanks. Not bad. I always ask the same question at the start of all of my podcasts. Have you always been sporty since a young age growing up?
Probably looking back at it, not when I was really young. When I was like teenage years, then I started getting into it. Started getting into cycling, sport at school, getting into anything I can really.
Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. One that stood out. Obviously, we've met before sitting down to do this, and we mentioned cycling, and you went to the Island Games as well. How good was that experience, and where did the actual love for cycling first start?
So love for cycling came from I did a charity ride actually. I believe it was for the Anthony Nolan Trust back in the day, and raised some money for that, and ended up raising the most money out of everyone, and got a prize of a free mountain bike from Mark Pickford's cycle shop. And in the window there was a sign saying about cycling events for juniors. And so it was up at the Canary track, and I thought, oh, I'll take my new bike up there. And I remember I did one lap time trial, and I was absolutely shattered. I thought I was about to have a heart attack, and basically passed out on the ground. And yeah, built up from there. Ended up getting racing bike racing, and yeah, ended up going to the Island Games in Bermuda, which was an incredible experience. Um, I believe I was the youngest at the time. I was the youngest ever cyclist to go to an Island Games, which was cool. So that was neat. And we came back with 2 team bronzes. So yeah, it was a really cool experience.
Yeah. Do you miss cycling, or do you still get out on your bike?
So I still cycle to work and back, but that's about it. Because as I'm sure it will come out, I'd had a brain tumor, had double brain surgery. I'm not really allowed to race right now. They told me it was forever, and then it keeps the goalpost keeps changing. So I might be able to race in the future. I personally don't think I will again. It's not worth the risk. If I crash, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went out for my first bike ride with a mate since my surgery about a month ago. So it was just an hour cycle, just the two of us. But no, I don't really do much group stuff. But I do miss it, I have to admit. The cycling to work, to and from work, covers a bit of it, but nowhere like it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move on to the main reason we're here. In April 2022, your life kind of changed. It's fair to say.
Yeah.
Can you explain to us, first of all, from the start, kind of what how did it come about firstly, and what were the kind of symptoms that you went to the doctor with, or what have you?
So it probably started when I was getting migraines, really bad ones. I call them like they're worse than I feel they're worse than migraines. They're more like electric shocks going through my head. And it was that for about 6 months. And then but it was like started from migraines and went into the electric shock feeling through my head, to the point where I remember I was at work and had to go to the bathroom, turn the light off, and just sit there and pretty much just shout and scream because I was in so much pain. And then um, that's when I realized, yeah, there's probably something wrong. That tied with I went out for a meal with my partner and the family, and I had one drink with them, and I had one drink with them, and I felt like I might have been spiked or something. That happens on multiple occasions, like enough times that I wasn't getting spiked, something was just wrong.
Yeah,
And I'd have one drink, and then I was planning on going out partying at night, and ended up having to get a taxi home at 9, 10 o'clock at night and pass out of my bed fully clothed after having one drink with a meal. So looking back at it now, there was probably some more triggers I should have really taken note of. I was seeing the doctor regularly. They thought it was just bad migraines. I was given tablets, and the tablets kept on making things worse, not better. And eventually, someone from work said it could be your eyes. Go and get your eyes tested because I'm on computer. I work with computers. I work in an office. I was like, it's very true. So went down to get my eyes tested. Got told I have one of the best eyes they've ever seen, best vision. And then they said, we'll do one last test. And that one last test showed some yellowing around my right eye. And that later turned out to be pressure in the brain. So I, from that, had neurological appointments, had to go meet them. They agreed they could see some yellowing, nothing major, but some. Um, Went for a CT. So this all going back. This happened on a Wednesday. I went and got a CT scan. They told me it should take a couple of minutes, and it ended up taking a long time. Ended up getting this like clarity stuff to get a better scan, and then they had problems doing that because they found out I had high blood pressure. That's obviously came from having pressure in the brain, and you may want to take this bit out, but when I had it done, they said to me, "Oh, we've turned this place into an abattoir." Basically, my blood backflowed when they put in the cannula, and I thought the guy was being nice because I accidentally left my a white watch on. I thought he was being nice by not letting the blood go to it. Looking back at it now, it's probably trying to make me not bleed out.
yeah,
So I just laugh about it now because it's just mad what happened. But that happened on the Wednesday. The Thursday, I got a phone call in the morning. Got told I'm not going to work, and I'm going for an MRI scan. Went there. It was such an emergency MRI scan that no one knew about it. I was not even put on the waiting list. I just got chucked straight in, and yeah, had an MRI. No one could tell me what was wrong. And I got a phone call that evening. That's on the Thursday, to say we want you to come up at 4:45, for a meeting, with neuro. And yeah, that's when it all got told. Got told I have. They call it a mass. They don't call it a tumor or they don't tell you what it is. They just call it a mass for the time being until they can confirm. So I got told, yeah, I had a mass. Saw the scans.
how tough was that moment for you just when you got told?
I was just running on adrenaline, really. I had just cycled up to Westmount on my bike, so I was pretty shattered already. And it was at the end of the day, so I was just going through the phases, really. Didn't even right now, I don't feel like I know a lot of people said they feel like a hit, and I think I felt maybe a little one, but it just all happened so fast. I didn't really have time to react. It was more. I was just worried about other people in my life than myself. Because the way I look, I say this all the time, and again, you might want to take this bit out. Is if I die, I won't know about it because it'll happen so fast. Like when I got told that they wanted to see me when I went up to the meeting, they told me that they wanted me up there because the doctor was actually away on Friday, and they wanted to fly me out Saturday morning. So within 24 hours, they wanted me out of the island,
Yeah,
and so yeah, so that Friday had to get all my paperwork in order. Something that I was pretty mad. I had to go and get my will signed,
yeah,
which cost more than I thought, and luckily, and also it normally takes a fair period of time, but a quick call to the lawyers and explain the situation. They were pretty understanding and got everything literally ready. I phoned them up Friday morning and they told me to come in Friday afternoon to get it signed. So I was pretty lucky there. And yeah, it all just moved very fast.
yeah. And you mentioned your family there. How obviously within a week it sounds, and well, a month, the whole process. Just how tough was that, and how quick they had to adapt and come to terms of what was happening. And obviously it's hard for you, but as you touched on, it's just as hard for the family as well.
No, definitely. So I have a flat with my partner, and she just happens to be a nurse who works on the brain tumor ward and stroke ward at the hospital. Um, so my first instance was Snugo Tala. She knew I went for scans and she knew I had a meeting, but didn't know the outcome, and I didn't want to do it over the phone. So ended up going to her ward and just saying, "Come for 5 minutes." Go to the changing rooms, just say to her. Um, about it. She was probably more upset than I was, and yeah, and then basically just tell family, tell friends. I only had 24 hours to tell people, and I didn't want to tell everyone the whole story.
Mm.
So I started off telling people that I'm just going for further tests. I didn't tell anyone that I had a mass in my head. I just wanted it to no one to overreact. I'm
Yeah,
only told like family and close friends and my partner. And yeah, it was mad. So when I went to my case got transferred, I believe, from the south of England straight to London. So I went to the National Hospital in London, partially because my age. So I was 25, I think, when I had it. And normally they see it, I believe, in 55 to 65-year-olds. So 30, 40 years early. After my first surgery, I think it was the second or third day after, went out with my head strapped up, all bandaged up. And I was able to go see my family and parents.
yeah,
So I was able to see them in the square. It's like a little park before my surgery, sorry. And then after my first surgery, I had external drain come out my head. Um, but so I wasn't allowed out then. But after that got removed and it got put internally, um, I was able to see them again and just basically strap my head off and go out. I'm probably down for the best idea, but
yeah,
I want to see my family, and they've come all the way out there,
yeah,
and it was yeah, it was just pretty mad. The lucky enough we had family over there.
yeah,
So one of my cousins put my family up, and my partner, who she's never met before, allowed her to stay at our house for nearly 2 weeks. Well,
yeah.
just over 2 weeks.
Yes, it's what happens. Family comes together, and yeah, it sounded like even though you weren't allowed to see them all the time, when you did get out, it gave you that boost, hopefully, as well.
No,
Um,
definitely.
yeah. How about obviously the surgeries would have hit hard as well, and
Mm.
would have a long time to kind of recover. How long did it take till you were allowed out and back to Jersey?
So that part's actually like quite quick.
Yeah,
I think after my second surgery, I was back to Jersey about a week, maybe just over a week. I believe I'm one of the longest like stays just for brain surgery from Jersey. From what I've been told previously, is that people there a couple of days a week,
yeah,
and I was there over 2 weeks.
yeah,
I was there for 18 days, and pretty much the only reason I got let out within 18 days is 'cause I was not staying for my birthday, and my birthday was 2 days after I got let out. I basically told them I wanted to be out for my birthday no matter what. And they let me out, I believe, 2 days before my birthday. And that day I had to stay in a hotel, because one thing I didn't think about is I can't really walk.
Yeah.
So I actually remembered a couple of days ago thinking about speaking to you today that on the day I actually left hospital. I had to get wheeled down in a wheelchair, and I had to get wheeled down in a wheelchair, and I really struggled to walk because you're not on your feet for 2.5 weeks. You in brain surgery, your muscles just stop working as much, and I literally was shattered just walking from the hospital around the corner, maybe 200 meters to the hotel.
When you were back in Jersey, obviously, as you were saying, it took a lot of time to get back to even walking and being active in that way. How
Mm.
how much was exercise and sport something that doctors told you to do and like kind of uh, guided you to do to improve the recovery?
So right at the beginning, they always told me like the fitter you are, the better chances you have of surgery, etc. So like I know that. So with my brain tumor, they couldn't remove it. They had to put a shunt in, and it was supposed to drain an internal drain. And they told me that I bled a lot when through surgery. So that in my head is if or when I need another surgery, I want to be as fit as I can be for the best chances of surviving. So I always have that in the back of my head, and that's kind of what pushes me through a lot of my training. Is that they always said the fittest you can be, the better chance. Like it always helps the chances. But yeah, for recovery wise, I remember I had my occupational therapist. We had to check out if I could go running because I got a shunt in me, I got a brain tumor still. Even though it's benign, it's still in there. And luckily, she says yeah, but she wanted to come running with me. So my first run back was literally from mine where at FB Fields to just past the Good Egg,
Yeah,
and I had to stop there and then slowly run back. The whole thing was probably one of my slowest ever runs,
yeah,
and that was my first thing to come back,
yeah,
and yeah. But I just think for my recovery, running and exercise has been so much. I say exercise; it's mainly just running. I don't really do much else,
yeah,
and yeah, it's been a massive part. It's been a massive part of my recovery. I did so that was in April, May time. I had my surgery, and I believe that September was the North Coast Challenge,
mm,
and I ended up doing that. So
yeah,
um, all type of like running and walking activities is my type of thing, and then I joined Rock and Road Runners in Jersey. They're just like a bigger family, and they're awesome. And I've run with them 2-3 times a week now.
yeah,
I've met multiple friends there. Just through running, not that I known a couple of people before, not many. Funny enough, my a good friend of mine now, Bex. She I think you know her as well from running
yeah, yeah,
community.
yeah,
She got me into running really, well with the club. She recommended it, and I I delayed it a bit, but eventually just bite the bullet and signed up, and now yeah, do intervals with them now, do long runs with them.
yeah.
Yeah, they're probably giving a bit too much of a shout, but yeah, they're brilliant.
They deserve it. They deserve it.
They do, they do.
How much of a boost is it not only to well, how much of a boost is it to your mental health to have not only running but also a group that you run with and new friends that you run with?
I'd say massive. I'd say massively. Especially Rock and Road runners, very inclusive. We have we have tons of people with their own different agendas, and we got Shah he's been in quite a lot of the media recently as well, because he's recently lost his sight, and he's running. He's on our club, and we have a couple of sight impaired runners, and and runners of all abilities. And it's nice, like for myself, like I don't get looked at differently, just like they don't. Like we all just get looked as runners. We're not a runner with a brain tumor, a runner who's sight impaired. We're just runners, and that's what's really nice. Just feels a bit of normality,
Yeah,
and yeah, you can always choose to go run your own as well. You're not always having to stuck to go with a club, so it's nice to have that option. But there's always a nice backup support. They always give support on like WhatsApp and stuff like that. It's just nice, and because they're runners as well, they appreciate what you're doing, sort of thing.
yeah,
So
for
yeah,
sure.
it's massively like for my mental health, it's been massive. Um, yeah.
Incredible, no, incredible. You love running so much that you've pushed yourself and gone distances as well. Um, you did the hospice half marathon. How much of a challenge was that for you, and how much did what was the feeling like when you crossed that finish line as well?
So when I joined the club in early this year, at the beginning of this year, I said to everyone, I'm not going to do any racing. Don't want to do any racing. I'm here just to get fit. I want to get healthy. I want to improve my running. And then 3 months later, I was doing the hospice half. Funny enough, Bex actually paced me around that,
Yeah,
and I got told that if you beat 2 hours, you're doing great for like your first couple of halves. Like, and just in general, if you beat like around the 2 hour mark, it's perfect. Like that's where you want to be. And yeah, Bex ends up pacing me great, and we done 1:58.
yeah,
So I set myself a great time, and I just remember coming through that finish line, had my mum, dad, and my partner there, and it was just insane. Just a great feeling. The first thing I remembered was I'm sitting down. Everyone wanted to give me a hug. I was like, "Yeah, give me 2 minutes," and then found a corner, just sat down and got my breath back, and yeah. So I think the first thing about finish line was, where can I sit down? Is my
yeah,
first thought, and then it started to hit that what I've actually done, and where I've come from running the odd 5K, the odd 10K, to doing a half marathon.
yeah,
So yeah, it's an incredible feeling. It really
yeah.
is.
It is, it is. Yeah, I know the feeling of finishing any race, and to do with your story as well. It's just incredible. You got another one coming right up very soon. Do you want to talk a bit more about why you entered this one, what one it is, and how's the training going as well?
Yeah, of course. So again, her name will probably come up quite a bit, Bex. um, she did it last year and said it was one of the best or the best half marathon she's ever done. So I was like, okay, I'll see about doing it myself this year. So so signed up to it, didn't get in through the ballot, but I did get in through a charity place. And as soon as I saw it, I just had to go for it. It was the brain tumor charity in the UK. They were given places you had to raise money on their behalf to get your space, and yeah, so went with them. Had to raise a minimum of £450. I'm now currently, I believe, just over £1,000. So I've secured my place, which, funny enough, I was actually very worried about securing my place because I'd just done the Island Walk and raised £450 for Jersey Brain Tumour charity. So I was worried about then having to raise more money to secure my place for the Royal Park. So I'm absolutely like thrilled that I've been able to raise that money for the charity, and obviously it helps with research. So the more I can fundraise, the better. So page is still open,
Yeah,
and people can still sponsor, and we'll see where we can get to. But no, I'm happy. I managed to secure my place, and yeah, so the train's going. I would say train's going okay now. It's had ups and downs. I actually was ill doing the Island Walk and probably shouldn't have done it. I had a virus and an ear infection. And then with my brain tumor, a lot of my symptoms heightened. I find when I get ill. So that was really bad. And I ended up having to have a week off work with the virus. and that along with all the blisters on my feet, it was I ended up not being able to train really for about a month after the Island Walk. And my original plan was to start training the week after the Island Walk. Just had to have 1 week rest and then start my training.
Yeah.
That didn't happen at all. So the training plan kind of went out the window because the time frames just weren't really workable for a training plan. Did my own thing and it's been going okay. Unfortunately, had a bit of a fall last Tuesday on some evening trail runs, and I was about it was so stupid. About 5 minutes to the finish, and we'd done all the rocks. And I was on the tripped over some little pebble and ended up falling on a pebble and took a gash at my knee. And but went the next day and done a light run with my partner, and doesn't seem to be, touch wood, any too much pain, just a bit of stinging. So, but I'd say it's going okay. I'm feeling okay myself. It's just see what happens. I don't really think too far ahead. Just see what happens on race day. I might be well, I might not be well. Who knows?
How much is obviously fundraise for three events at least now? How important is that side for you, especially the actual fundraising, raising money for these charities?
Because the brain tumor of my one specifically, they can't remove my one. They think it might be, I think it's the word's transfused into part of my brain somehow, or one of the drains. So they're not too sure about it. Luckily I've got the shunting, which is amazing. And the pay that only came around in the last couple of years is something quite new. And that's just through research. So if I can help raise money for research, you never know. One day they might be able to take my tumor out or treat it, and it will resolve a lot of issues. But that only happened with research. So I know that I believe brain tumor funding in the UK specifically is one of the least funded medical things in the UK. I believe I was told that when I was over there. Yeah. So yeah, if I can do my bit, then I will do. Nothing's stopping me doing it. So it's allowing me to enter the race. It's allowing me to take part in the race. And if I can raise a bit of money at the same time, why not?
Yeah, definitely brilliant stuff. Final question for me: how much would you encourage other people who might be going through tough times, tough illnesses, tough whatever it is, to take part in a form of sport? It could be just walking, it could be running like you have, swimming, any type of sport really. And how much does it help you?
So yeah, I'd highly recommend it. I walk myself as well. So on a Monday, I try and get my 10K steps in, without doing any running, just walking. I've done the Island Walk just walking. So yeah, don't think it's anything negative. Just go walking. Everyone's got to start somewhere. So with men's mental health, I believe, is like not looked at enough through men. They don't admit they need help. I'm very much a person, whereas I tell the story as it is, and if they don't like it, then they don't like. I don't really have much. I suppose I don't care much for how people look at me. I've got scars on my head, so it's quite obvious. But I fully admit I've had bad times. I've cried. I don't see anything wrong with men crying. Sometimes they need the release and need to open up a bit. I've had like talking therapies. The Jersey Brain Tumor Charity provided me someone to speak to, psychiatrist, a qualified psychiatrist, and I was able to speak to them. I still do speak to them now. I speak to them maybe once a month. The lady that I speak to, and they're available all the time you need to. You just send them a message, and like I was speaking to someone once a week, once a month, and it just changes depending how much you need someone. Obviously now time's gone on, I don't need someone as much, and my feelings, I've come to like the realization, the acceptance of what I've got, and I'm very much have on the feeling of I will probably die younger than most people. That's just sort of the way it's going to happen. And if I don't, great. But if it does, I do. But back when I first came out of surgery, I didn't think I thought something might happen within the next year. So my outlook on life was very short. But that's turned now, and now I just plan for things. Still in the near future. Haven't got to planning things in the far future yet. But yeah, if you need to if you need to speak to male, female, anyone really, it could be anyone, not restricted to you're not restricted to anyone. Sometimes you just need to show feelings and not be scared to talk about things. I've come to learn that very fast. So yeah, but yeah, sport massively. It's massively helped me with my mental health. I highly recommend anyone get into running if they like running. My partner is starting to get into running now. Hopefully, I think she's just annoyed with how many shoes I've got and wanted a pair of shoes herself, running shoes. So we've been going out doing 3K together, and then I do my extra running on top. But it's nice just to have that little bit of security of just knowing you can do something. When before you didn't know if you could do anything. So I also needed something to plug the cycling because I used to cycle a lot, and now I don't really. So it's been nice to have something to plug that.
No, amazing, Ryan. Thank you for being so open and honest today with us and sharing your story in such a way like this. Obviously, I know it would be tough just speaking about some of those moments. So thank you for your bravery and thank you for opening up with us.
No, thank you for letting me share my story. I'll tell it to anyone who wants to listen to it. Is if it makes people look out for the symptoms more, that's even better. Because luckily I got told mine got caught quite early. Probably it could have been caught even earlier if I knew the symptoms. But I didn't. So yeah, the main thing is just look out for the symptoms. And if you want to know more, the Brain Tumor Charity, the Jersey Brain Tumor Charity in Jersey has a website, and it says it shares all the symptoms on there. And even for yourself, friends or family, you can spot it in anyone. And they're sometimes very simple.
Yeah, brilliant. And good luck on Sunday week.
No, thank you very much. It should be interesting.
Brilliant. Right. Thank you, Ryan. And thank you to everyone who's listened and watched this podcast. It's been a great listen, and another episode of Sportscast Jersey is coming soon.